Alright, so I just want to talk to you guys about pivoting and how and when to pivot, when you should, reasons you should, and when's a good time to pivot. So pivoting is when you switch your comp from one comp to another, either because your comp isn't coming together well, there are no synergies, or other people's comps simply counter your comp, and you can just tell like the top 3, top 4 players, you're not going to be able to beat a couple of them, and they're just going to beat you out come late game. So here we're going to be looking at comp pivoting at level 7 because most games you get to level 7 and you always have the option of rerolling at level 7 to try to get the comps you want. That's why I think level 7 pivoting is a really, really good point to pivot. So in TFT, ranks come out tomorrow. You want to get top 4. So pretty much getting to one of these comps or going towards one of these comps will guarantee you a top 4. This is mainly if you're doing okay around level 7 and you're looking for like a top 2 finish, because if you can get one of these comps, it will almost guarantee you getting top 2 at least. If you do it correctly and make sure that the other comps don't counter one of these 3 comps, then it honestly should guarantee you number 1 if you can pull together one of these comps. So I went ahead and put together a couple of my favorite comps that I've had the most success with. I've played a shit ton of TFT, an absurd amount of TFT, and so far, obviously, Wild Sorcerer, good, Glacial Rangers, good, Void Assassin, good, if you can get them. What we're going to be looking at is when you get to level 7, which level 3 you're getting, or level 4 unit you're getting. So if you pick up the Akali, if you pick up, well, here it doesn't really matter. If you pick up the Anivia, that's great. And if you pick up the Asol, you can pivot. The thing is here is that level 1 Akali by herself in Assassins is a really good unit, while level 1 Asol isn't really that good. So if you are struggling, I would honestly suggest the Assassins. If you pick up a Cho'Gath, you're at level 7. Honestly, level 7 is really good for Assassins too, because you can put your Cho out and he can draw attention before you get to level 8 and get your Void bonus. So here, if we look at this is purely on pivoting, not based on what you picked up before. If you're trying to completely pivot, or you have a couple of these units leveled up, perhaps like a level 3 Ka, level 2 Ashe, level 2 Volibear, level 3 Cass, these are going to be good comps to switch into. So you can see here the Void Assassin pivot has decent percentages at level 7. All you need is one Akali. You can pick up a Eve, a Cat, a Rengar, a Zed, Pyke. All of them have pretty high percentages for the level 7 pivot. Glacials is a pretty bad pivot because Ashe tends to be a hard unit to pick up in general, just due to people liking her going into Glacials and Rangers. Wild Sorcerer is a good one to pivot into at level 7 because of the Asol Morg. Asol and Morg are both very good units, or the Morgana is a very good unit, along with the Lulu, who you can pick up early pretty easily and is a really good early unit. Honestly, Wild Sorc is a good one to pivot into if you have a decent Lulu and a decent Cass, like perhaps level 2 Lulu, level 3 Cass, then you're going to want to go into Wild Sorc. If you have a good Kha'Zix, level 2 Pyke, you don't want the Zed. Honestly, if you're going into any assassin comp that's not Ninja Assassins, you don't want the Zed. Never level up your Zed unless you're planning on going into Ninjas or just not picking up an Akali. Zed's a terrible pick to go into Assassins if it's not Ninja Assassin. So as we can see here, these are percentages. Wild Sorc, good to go into Glacial Rangers unless you pick up an Anivia, which the one good thing I would give into Glacial Rangers is that if you pick up a bunch of Lissandras early, and then you pick up a Kennen, you run into the Brand, you can use the Elementalist to transition into the Glacial Rangers pretty easily. So yeah, this is pretty much, I'm just trying to show you guys how to pivot at level 7, what to pivot into, what to look into. Obviously, if you're going to pivot, you want to look over the other teams that are alive, not even just the top 3, because when you pivot, you're going to be looking for characters, and if someone's already going Assassins, already going Glacial, already going Wild Sorcerer or Wild or Sorcerer, you're going to struggle to pivot into that, and you're going to have a much lower chance of getting those units. Alright, yeah, this is the video.